Delighted to say that some of our listeners are now getting the gist of what I'm trying to say, okay? Go straight to the lines.
Well, let's get some sense out of them, because I'm not getting any out of you.
Yeah, let's go straight to the lines and talk to Edward in Burnley. Hello, Ed.
Hi there, how you doing?
Hello, mate. Yeah, now, what's your story about fatism?
Yeah, I think some of the stuff you're saying is a bit harsh, but I do agree it's got to change.
Yeah, well, it's got to change, and I'm afraid it's got to be painful medicine.
But the big thing for me was I recently was lucky enough to go over to Vegas for a holiday. Nice 8.5-hour flight out there.
Yeah.
Got put next to someone who was literally overflowing into my seat.
Well, I mean, that is the nightmare of all nightmares. You can't even get out of your seat because you're swamped by the belly of the man next to you.
That's right. I mean, I spent the first day of my holiday with a sore back from it, and to make it worse, he spent pretty much 2 hours getting through 2 family-sized packs of crisps to himself, and it's just ridiculous.
That's hideous. And did you
Well, hang on a second,
all
Edward.
the crumbs falling over your...
What, do you want to sort of not only buy a ticket for an aeroplane, but you want to stipulate who you want to sit next to? What if you don't want to sit next to an old person or a child or something?
Well, an old person doesn't cause you discomfort.
Why are you so intolerant?
Well, it's not intolerance, it's just the fact it's uncomfortable. If the seats were built for larger people, then fair enough, but at the moment it's not something that fits in with society.
Yeah, well, I totally agree.
Well, that's because the airlines make seats tiny.
But that guy should have been charged more, shouldn't he, Ed?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're a large person, if I was that large, personally, I'd either not travel, lose weight, or upgrade to first class if I could afford to.
Or buy 2 seats and put the armrest up.
Well, there was a case, wasn't there, of an American airline?
That's right, you charge a guy 2 seats.
Yeah,
but, unbelievable.
You know, Edward, you can't be so intolerant. You know, we are all different in the world.
It's not being intolerant.
And as much as there may
Why should he suffer 8.5 hours of sheer discomfort when he's paid the same fare as the guy who's making him uncomfortable?
Over-egging the
Ed, thank you for calling. It's a very, very good point.
He's complaining about the guy sitting there eating crisps.
Yeah, well, that's hideous. Spilling all his crumbs over you, spitting them out onto the chair in front.
Well, whether you like it or not.
Rustling the bags, disturbing you when you're trying to sleep.
The crisps.
Yeah.
Well, like it or not, we live in a society where everybody is different. Yeah. Everybody has a perfect right to exist and coexist with one another. If you get on public transport, which is effectively what an aeroplane is, you have to just take pot luck.
Right. Now, listen, we're getting the gist of this now. Let's go to Maidenhead and talk to Neil, who's an Arsenal fan. Hello, Neil.
Hi, Porky. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. Very good indeed. Maidenhead, quite near Heathrow. When you fly, Neil, do you want to be sat next to some really big fat guy who makes your life a misery?
Not particularly, mate, and I think you're bang on with this one. I went on holiday this year with my family, and my point is, Mike, you said about maybe having some sort of a weighing scale at the airport where you stand on, you and your bag stays on.
Yes.
Now, I'm quite a short guy that's just 10.5 stone.
Yeah.
There was a guy in front of me, he must have been at least 18 stone, same baggage allowance, pays the same price. So I think people that are a lot heavier than me, they're carrying like nearly 7.5 stone more than I am, get the charge the same price.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And you're right about the bag as well.
It's a very slippery slope that you're actually asking us to slide down, because then you're going to get a sliding scale for everything, aren't you?
No. This is a matter of life and death.
Well, I don't agree, I mean, we're being charged the same price as somebody that could be...
Yeah, but who's going to say that's a fat person, he should pay more? Who's going to be the judge of that, Neil?
Well, what I'm saying is you'll have like scales on the floor. You walk on and you weigh your bag and the person.
Yeah, you're totally right.
So what you're saying is there's a total weight allowance for passenger and baggage.
Exactly,
yeah. Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. You know, Neil, why MG's against it? You've seen the size of him. He'd get charged no, he would. I'm not joking. He'd get charged a massive surcharge.
Have you got one of those comic book mirrors, like from the Hall of Mirrors in your house?
No,
when you look at it in the morning, you see Brad Pitt or something.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'd like our listeners to go to talksport.co.uk/Parry and Graham. You have a look at my super slim picture from this morning, this very morning, compared to 5 or 6 weeks. You can't not believe it's there, and it has not been touched up.
Let me read you some of these responses from people who looked at the so-called before and after pictures. This is tweeted in by Michael. He says, "Is Porky wearing one of those T-shirts from The Apprentice that pull it all in? It looks like that to me." Here's one from Greg. Who revived Porky Parry with oxygen? He must have passed out holding his gut in for that photograph. He looks rather pale due to the lack of oxygen. And here's another one from Simon, who says, "You don't lose weight just by breathing in, Porky. That's obviously all you have done in the before and after pictures."
Absolutely.
It's very clear to everybody that it is a complete hoodwinking of the general populace.
Absolutely not at all.
I don't believe you've lost any weight. You look just as chubby as you did last week.